Hello everybody, I'm Dean Goforth. This is Neal Clark, our Regional Vice President in Greenville, South Carolina. Today I wanted to talk to Neal about Hurricane Helene and how it affected not only us as a company and our people, but our customers and the people in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Part of what I like in having strong leadership is them having the ability to make decisions without having to call me about certain things. And that's exactly what Neal did in regards to Hurricane Helene, and not only our customers and our people, but the people in that area that have a need and are going to continue to have a need. So would you tell the story?
I'm sure everybody that's watching knows how devastating Helene was in western North Carolina. And of course, one of our great customers is out of Asheville, Ingalls Markets. Just watching on TV as things unfolded, we had stores the first day of the hurricane that I was getting pictures from store managers of water that had flooded their parking lots. Their gas stations were totally underwater, and the water was at the edge of the sidewalk getting ready to come into the store. The surrounding areas and communities were just totally devastated. We've got about 40 stores up in that area, Ingalls stores up in that area, and Ingalls has about 200 stores in the region. They lost one store totally. It's going to have to be demolished, and two stores wound up having between 1 and 2 feet of water in them. So they're out of commission for several months. The infrastructure was so destroyed in those areas that we couldn't even communicate with anybody. I couldn't get hold of store managers, district managers, Ingalls regional office to find out what was going on, what stores needed help, what we could do to help. Wednesday, after the storm, the roads had finally, some of the major roads had finally been opened up. We had major interstates that were shut down for 10 miles because they were either flooded or so many trees across them you couldn't get through. So on Wednesday, I made my way up there to the corporate office to check on them and see what I could find out, and ask them what they needed, what we could do. And at that point, they had 14 stores in that area with no water. They had power. They were able to take care of customers, but they couldn't clean, couldn't flush toilets. So they asked me if we could somehow get water into the stores to be able to scrub floors, clean shelves, flush toilets. And so I got together with our team, and we went and rented a box truck. We bought 10 300-gallon water tanks and took them up to western North Carolina. I got with one of the stores that was closest to the area that did have water. We actually filled all 10 of those tanks, all 3,300 gallons, from a water hose at that store, and then delivered them to the stores that needed them. We bought pond pumps and put in the tanks so they could actually pump the water into the scrubber or mop buckets or whatever they needed to do. And we're able to get them water. They made arrangements with the fire departments to come fill them back up for them until they were able to get water.
Who is your point of contact with Ingalls that you were coordinating this? I know you spoke with some of the DMs, but John Benora, is that who is?
John, yes.
And yeah. You've got a relationship with him that goes back a number of years too. So right. One of the things that Neal was telling me is just being able to act and listen. The thank yous that you received from not just the people at the store, but the district managers. Tell us a little bit about that.
The managers were so thankful that we had been able to get the water in. Actually, some of them got water within just, 5 or 6 days after we had delivered it. They took the tanks outside and used them for the community to be able to give the community water to clean with. But they were all very grateful, overwhelmed that we would even think to do it for them. I thought that them asking for the water, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Honestly, I was expecting them to say, we don't need anything. But it kind of surprised me that they asked for that, and we were more than willing to do it. And we take things so for granted. We don't realize from one day to the next what life is going to bring. Some of their associates lost everything they had in the storm. The warehouse manager of Ingalls Supply Group lost his 2-year-old grandson in the storm, and it's devastating to see what has happened. But I'm just grateful that we've been able to be a part of helping in some way, and hope to continue to help in the future, because they're definitely going to continue to need help.
Neal, would you tell me a little bit about the Fill the Truck project that we did as it relates to Hurricane Helene?
Okay, so our team out of Charlotte, that's led by Bill Dado and Madison Hines, came up with, actually one of our teammates' wives, I think, came up with the idea, Dave and Chris, to have an event that they called Fill the Truck. And we have a delivery truck in that area. And they got together with the community. They contacted radio stations, got with the Red Cross. They got with Jennifer Sweatman out of our Alabama office, and she created a flyer. And they came together with some of our other vendors and collected non-perishable food goods, clothing, cleaning supplies, had a big event, and actually loaded a 16-foot box truck with product that they delivered to one of the KOA campgrounds there in Concord, North Carolina, that was actually taking in refugees from the storm.
That's awesome, and that was their idea?
Yes, sir.
Well, I certainly appreciate you taking a leadership role, because you know where our heart is as a company, without question. So I'm sure that's why you made the decision without any fear of recourse. And that's a perfect example for how I want us to always run our business. There are times in your career, in your personal life, in your business, and as you build relationships in business like we do with our customers, you just have to decide, irregardless of if it's the right thing for the bottom line, is it the right thing for the people and for the company? And for us, that's always going to be the right thing to do. One of the things Neal and I've talked about, and that we're going to do, is people respond initially during a disaster, especially something that is unexpected. What happens is, over time, people are forgotten, and that's when they sometimes need the most help. So what our intentions are, with Neal being as close as he is, and I'm going to go visit, but we're also going to talk with the folks at Ingalls and identify how we can help as a team. We do business together. How are we going to help the community together? That's really the next step for us. Right now, they're still putting things back into place so that they can get their businesses up and running and serve their customers. We're a part of that day in and day out. But we are not going to forget, we do business in that region. We've been there for a long time, and we're going to stay connected and identify how we can help the people in that area far into the future as they really get their lives back. Because you're right, you never know. And people lost everything like that. And we need to be there.
Yes.
So thank you very much for everything that you're doing.
Yes, sir, my pleasure.
Right?